I've restarted my server and then run the client a couple of more times. Each time I get a different ephemeral port number, of course, always receiving the connection from the machine itself at 127.0.0.1. Keep in mind, though, that this machine has multiple addresses. That's the loopback address, but its Wi-Fi address is 10.0.0.43. So I could, in my client, instead of using localhost, use 10.0.0.43 here. And now when I run it from the client side, it looks pretty similar, except now we're connecting to that address. And then when we look on the server, we also see that we heard from, again, the same machine, but using its other address because the connection goes to the other interface. The thing about this interface is I could use it to connect from remote machines. So on the same network that has my laptop here, I have locally connected to a remote machine. If I use ifconfig, then I can see that its interface, EN0, has the address 10.0.0.136 instead of 43. On this machine, I have also prepared our same Java client as before, using that address 10.0.0.43. So if I compile this program on the remote machine and run it on the remote machine, it says something similar to the client when we run it locally using the 10.0.0.43 address. And it's using our server's port number 5678, and locally on that remote machine, picking the ephemeral port 56339. Going back to our server, we see that it heard from that remote machine, that address ending in 136, at that port 56339, and it got the same bytes. We still get a different port number every time because every time we run the client, it picks a new ephemeral port. But on this client, I have also prepared a loop here that lets me send more copies of the packet. So I'm going to send that message 1,000 times now, sleeping just a little bit every once in a while. And compile it again, run it again. And we just sent 1,000 messages over to the server, all from the same process. And we see on the server side that it got 1,000 more messages. Its counter is up to 1,004. And it was the same remote address and remote port number every time. Let's do one more experiment. Let's turn main.java here up from 1,000 to 10,000. Compile it again. Run it again. This client sent 10,000 messages over to the server. If we go back over to our server window and go down to the end, its counter is up to 10,000 or 11,000 now. Let's do it one more time. 10,000 more messages. The counter did not go up by 10,000 this time. In this case, it turns out I got unlucky, and some of the packets from my remote machine didn't make it all the way to the server. Those packets are just gone. If I run the program again, I'll try to send another 10,000, and the counter will count up